Hey, what's up there? In this episode, I'm going to tell. This is more like a follow up on the story I started. The previous story was related to an hypnosis section that I had with one friend of mine when I was 17 years old. In case you haven't listened to it or watched the prior episode, you can go and check it out. It is hypnosis part 1, something like that. Anyway, so as I told in the story, I did it with this guy. I hypnotized him. I hypnotized my friend. He woke up. I woke him up, and he told me that he had this fear for water. And during the session, he told me that he actually described a death, a past life death in water, so he was drowned. So I continued living in the house where I was staying, and one day two girlfriends came to visit me. Among those two girls, one of the girls was the girlfriend of the guy I have hypnotized before. So this girl, they were in a relationship, but that was not really a very healthy relationship. They were pretty young. We were all young. I was 17. She was, I think, she was 15 or 14, something like that. And my friend was like 16. They were pretty young, and they were in a relationship, but it was like on and off relationship, kind. So these two girls came to visit me, and as I told before, I was so obsessed with this hypnosis, with the books that I was reading. So I couldn't help but to talk about it all day long with friends. So I told them about the experience I had with Leo, was his name, the guy. And one of the girl, she said like, oh, just try it on me, to try to hypnotize me. And she said it like jokingly. So this time we were three of us, two girls and me. Before, when I did it with this guy, it was only the two of us. Now this time we were three of us, and I said, okay, let's do it. So she lay down, and I started my procedure, telling her a story, trying to involve all her senses in the story. And all of a sudden, after like 7 or 8 minutes, I started asking questions. She described things, and we went, as I did with Leo, we went once during the day. I mean, we reviewed the day backwards. And so we went back in time until we reached a moment in which she was very little. She described she was 3 years old. No, less than that. She was in a, how do you call that? Okay, in a baby bed, let's call it. A creek, I think is the name in English. And she described how people said that she was so pretty and all those things. And then all of a sudden, she changed her voice also, and she started like crying, she seemed like she was sad. Then I asked her about her sadness. Then she said that her parents were just about to get divorced. And like her friend and I, we look at each other like, that was like something, like a private thing that we were not supposed to know. At least we didn't know. And so we went back in time, and she reached a moment also in which she saw herself lying on a bed, and she said that her sons were sitting around the bed, and she was about to die. She had a strange disease, and she was about to die. So that was one scene she told me. There was another moment she saw herself inside the womb of her mom. She described the cozy feeling that it felt so nice there, and she felt so safe and loved. And then she knew that was her mom's womb. We went back in time. She saw herself also in a place, and that was curious the way she spoke. Of course, this could be all imaginary. She probably tapped into movies she had watched in the past, and I guess if this is real, then it is real. If not, then probably it's the mind just filling up gaps and like an AI kind of thing. Anyway, she told me, she described one day she was in a place, and she said that was the day of her presentation to society. That's what she said. And then I asked her to look around to describe to try to figure out where she was. She told me she was in England. Yet she was talking Spanish, right? Many will say, wow, why is she not talking Spanish? I don't know. But she said that. She said she was in England. And she also described the clothing, like antique clothing, you know, big stuff, big things, and dresses. Then she saw a guy. She was going to get married with a guy, and she sounded a little bit sad too. She said she had to get married with a guy. She didn't love him, and also in the same place she saw her boyfriend, the boyfriend of this lifetime. She saw him there. She saw him. She recognized him. He looked differently because she told me there was a guy, that's the guy she loved. Then what I said was, the question I asked is that, can you please look into his eyes and try to recognize in him somebody you already know? And then she said, yeah, that's Leo. And according to her, she wasn't allowed to marry that guy because, you know, in those days, family had to get married with, marriages were arranged, and still in so many countries and cultures. But that's what she described, and that was it. She told a little bit of details that I don't really remember right now. And then finally I woke up. I told her to just, you know, I gave her the instructions. I will count from 10 to 1. When I reach 1, you will wake up and you will not remember anything of what you just told me. And I started 10, and so I went on to 1. She woke up, and that was it. And her reaction was also similar to her boyfriend. She just woke up, she was sitting, her eyes was like a shiny, you know, like when somebody has cried. And the same thing, like, oh my God, I fell asleep. What happened? She said, what happened? Then we told her all the things that she told us, and that was it. So later on, I tried with a couple of friends. They were 2 brothers. And then finally, I did it with the mother of the boys, and that I will tell in the next episode. Cheers.